Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Carla Palmer Show. I'm gonna give everybody a second to come in. So before we get the show started, but I want to invite everybody to come in, and you guys, please turn down my volume. You guys, please invite and share. I'd love it if you would do that. I am right now sharing this out to my people, and I'm gonna invite everybody that I know to come in as well. So welcome to the show. Just give us a little second and we'll get started soon. Welcome. Who's joining? The person who joined. Hi. Welcome to the Carla Palmer Show. I am just sharing this out. This is episode number 7. Yay. We're on episode 7, you guys. We're doing great. I remember when I first started the show, I was like, okay, it's time to get this thing started. So we're on episode 7. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be here with you guys today. We've got a really great guest, and she's got some good financial tips she's going to share with us. I'm going to show you guys my face now. Let's see here. Hi. Welcome to the Carla Palmer Show. This is episode number 7, you guys. Yay, we're on episode 7. So this season, we have 10 episodes of the Carla Palmer Show. So we've got 3 more after today, and they've all been really great. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the other shows, please do so. Go back and watch some of the previous episodes. We've talked about finance. We've talked about fitness and healthy eating. We've also talked about, oh my gosh, being professionally organized. We've talked about hair loss. I can go on and on about the things that we've shared here on the show, but I hope that you've been blessed by the content, and I hope that you will continue to come back and be with us. Today, we have a really special guest, and I want to bring her onto the screen so that you can meet her. We have Adrienne with us. Hi, Adrienne. How are you today?
Great. How are you, Carla?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time. We've known each other for a while now. I would say, about 2 or 3 years now?
Yeah, about 2 years.
Yeah, about 2 years. So Adrienne and we met on a Periscope. If you guys don't know what Periscope is, it is a live streaming app where you can broadcast live. And we've been doing that for a couple of years. And we met there. And we've also done a couple of webinars together on finance and fitness. And so it's just been really lovely getting acquainted with her and becoming friends. I think Adrienne is a straight up boss, and I wanted to bring her to you today. And so I'm going to first of all, say hello to some of the people who have come in. I see we have Vanessa here. Hi, Vanessa. How are you? Thank you for joining. We have Adrienne Earls. Hi, Regina. Thank you for being here. And we have some other people here in the room. I can't see your names, but I appreciate your presence as well. So I want to give you a little background information on our guest, Adrienne Earls. Adrienne G. Earls. Let me not forget the G. Adrienne G. Earls is the Master Money Mogul. She's a goal connector and a wealth builder. She has a BA in business and more than 25 years managerial service in corporate America with a leading insurance company. Her financial foresight started when she obtained her Chartered Financial Consultant designation. And in 2003, Adrienne began purchasing and managing investment properties. She soon became a licensed realtor where she earned her GRI, ABR, ePro, and RCC designations. I have no idea what all of those things are, but I'm sure that they're very important. Adrienne's portfolio was built on sound financial principles and integrity. She has changed her future by simply mastering money and helping others do the same by teaching practical financial principles. Adrienne, I have learned a lot from you over the last couple years. I really, really have. And I'm so happy that we met and I was able to, get some lessons from you about financial management. I think that a lot of people in this audience can learn from some of your principles. And I just wanted, hello, you guys. And I just wanted to make sure that I brought this to my audience. So I want to start off by asking you, how did the Master Money Mogul come about? How'd you come up with that title?
Oh, the Master Money Mogul title? Master Money Mogul to me means actually mastering your money and not letting your money master you. And I'm real big on that, knowing where every dollar goes, giving each dollar an assignment, that type of thing. Make sure that I'm in charge of my money. Money is just a tool, and it's up to you to be in charge of your money And so I want to be the master of my money and not let the money master me. And so I thought it was a good title especially on Periscope, just to kind of name myself, because I do believe in being in charge of your money and your finances on a daily, monthly, yearly basis.
Mm-hmm. And so you have a degree in finance? Do you have a degree in finance?
No, it's just a bachelor's administration in business, just in business.
Okay. But you have your background in real estate, insurance, and finance.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes, so exactly. You currently work at an insurance company?
Right. I currently work at an insurance company. I won't mention the name, but I am employed with an insurance company. And, through that, I did get my chartered financial designation through them. Then I went into real estate. And of course, I have properties that I manage. So I'm just all mixed in the financial side of everything. So, yeah.
Wow. So when it comes to finance, right, and managing your finances, I mean, it's easier said than done. I mean, to me. Now, you might find it easy because maybe you're a little bit more disciplined than the average person. But I think for the average person, managing your finances, drafting a budget, really looking at your priorities and saying, okay, these are my priorities for the month, and I'm not going to deter from this list that I'm creating. That's kind of hard for some people. And I think it's important to learn, to learn the money management skills, but also to follow gurus, people who have gotten it together. They know what to do, and they're out there and they're teaching. And so I'd like to know for you, who are some of the gurus that you follow?
Okay, sure. The biggest one I follow is Dave Ramsey. Everyone knows about Dave Ramsey. Yeah.
Love him.
So he's one of them. I believe in most of Dave Ramsey's principles. I've gone through his Financial Peace University before. I've seen him on stage. He's come to Austin, and so I've seen him on stage. So I do follow him. He has another guy, Chris Hogan, that teaches more on the retirement side. So I'm also a big fan of his. And then I follow Susie Orman, and what she says. And actually, the late Miles Monroe, who was a preacher, he has some great financial tips.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he really did. And so I follow. They're biblically based, but I follow him also. So all of them together, I pick and choose what I pull from them. Okay. That applies to me.
Mm-hmm. So, I know that everybody has their own way of delivering the message. You just pick the things that align with your own values, your own personal values. Is that what you do?
Right. That's exactly what I do.
Okay, awesome. So when it comes to, your income and your spending habits, what do you think is most important? So a lot of people are just I can't get out of the hole because I don't make enough money. And then they get some more money and they're like, okay, well, now I can get this. Right. And so I'm wondering, is it a money issue or is it a habit issue? Is it an income issue or a habit issue? Which one is more important?
Carla, that's a great question, because just like you said, most people think that I don't make enough money. I don't make enough money. Mm-hmm. I will tell you that it is more of a spending habit issue than it is an income issue, because if you make $100,000 and spend $100,000, you're still living from paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
If you make $1 million and spend $1 million, you're living from paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. So it is, how you spend your money, such as if the person who wins the lottery, if they do not change any of their habits, they're still going to be broke in the matter of 3 to 5 years from when they won the lottery. Right. Because nothing changed, So we have to get these management and these habits down as far as handling our money in order to get it up under control, get the debt up under control, and then we can look at investing and building wealth after that. But mm-hmm. It is a spending issue more than an income issue.
Mm-hmm. So how do you address the spending issue? How do you really, for the average person, right? Everybody's not going to sit down and write down a budget and do all of that. Is that the only way, or what would you say the easiest way for somebody to watch their spending? What would you say the easiest way is to do that?
Okay. Well, there are apps that you can put on your phone as budget apps, and then because you don't have to sit down and make out a long drawn out budget, but in order to address that, you do need to know where your money's going. And so a budget in simple terms is your ability to know where your money's going. And that's all it is. You can spend it however you want to. But when you have a budget, at least you know that if I bought $400 worth of shoes this month, that's where my money went.
Right.
You know? So it makes a difference. So there's really no way around the budget aspect, because you need to know kind of where your money is going. The second part of it is having an emergency fund, which when you start budgeting, things are going to happen. You know, emergencies are going to come up, and that will throw you off track of your budget, especially if the money's tight. So if you have an emergency fund, then you can pull from that to pay for some of the emergencies. That way you can kind of stay on your budget. And then after that, basically you have to have a debt reduction plan.
Okay.
That's the third part of the simplest, formula you can have, because you need to reduce the debt that you have, because once you start reducing debt, you automatically increase your income. It's like giving yourself a raise. Once you pay off one credit card that you may be paying, $120 a month on, it gives you a $120 raise. And that's what people don't see.
And that raise is to go where?
The raise is to go wherever you need it to go. The raise is not to spend. Okay.
I can't upgrade my car with that. No.
Thank you for that point. No, the raise is not to spend. The raise is either to move to your second debt that you need to pay off, or move some into savings. By the way, I do believe in a budget. Savings should be a part of a budget.
Okay.
And there should be a part of a budget I call fun money. Okay. Because it's no fun to have a budget and then at the end of the day you don't have any money to spend on anything else.
No, that's not fun.
No, it's not fun at all. And it's hard to continue like that, because you're not having fun with it, and it's just a task. Even though you got yourself in this position and you want to get out as quickly as possible, you still need a little relief, to have some money to do something at the end of the month every now and then. So yeah.
So what do you think as far as people's mortgage or rent? Like what's the percentage that should be of is it your gross income or your net income? There's that they say it should be. Is it like 30% or something like that?
Right. It's 30 to 35% of your gross income as far as your mortgage is concerned. As far as renting is concerned, my opinion on renting is get the safest, least expensive place that you can find. Okay. Simply because when you rent, you're paying somebody's mortgage. You're not paying yours, but you're paying somebody's mortgage. Okay. So since it's not yours, it just makes sense to get a safe place, get somewhere where you feel safe, that you feel good about coming home to. But some folks like to live in, the high rise and have the view, and they are paying for somebody else's building is what they're missing,
Yes.
And if you want to do that, I'm a landlord.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
By all means, give a sister some money, right?
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, either way you look at it, you're paying for somebody's mortgage. You're either paying for your own mortgage or you're paying for somebody else's mortgage. So until you can get to the place where you want to buy a house, if you want to buy a house, find somewhere that's good for you, enough space, that's safe, and pay as little rent as you can possibly pay.
Okay. When is it? This is a question. I like this question. When is it that people really start to get serious about their finances? Because I'm thinking about myself, right? When I was in college or when I first moved to LA, man, you couldn't tell me I wasn't fly. I had I wasn't repeating outfits. I had nice shoes. I had nice clothes. I mean, everything, I was fly. But at the end of the month, I had probably about $2 in my account, and I was waiting on the next paycheck. And I did that for quite a while. When is it that you feel like the average person tends to get pretty serious or a little more serious about managing their money a little bit better?
Right. The average person normally gets serious about managing their money is when they go apply for something and they can't get it, such as if they can't buy a car or if they can't buy a house.
Okay.
All of a sudden now they see something that they want, and it's easy to get a credit card. Right. Even with bad, you can get a credit card. But once you go and try to buy something that you really want and you can't get it, all of a sudden now it's a problem. So I need to do something about my finances. I run into this all the time with, young couples that want to buy houses.
Yeah. And
they'll come to me, and first thing I tell them is go ahead and get with the loan officer to make sure we know how much you can qualify for, because it does me or you no good to go out and look at a $300,000 house if you can't qualify for it. You're going to be mad at the realtor, okay? So yeah. I know this. So
Yes.
in order to keep that, under control, it's like, let's see how much you can actually qualify for. And when they go and find out that they have a list of things, that they can't, the reason they can't qualify, there's a list of bills or something that's unpaid and they can't get qualification, all of a sudden it becomes important to them. Oh, I need to do something about this now.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's when really everybody's eyes are open to, and it could be with a car loan. If you can't get the kind of car you want because of your credit, all of a sudden you get serious about, I need to clean this up and do something about it.
Yeah, and I think it's sad when that happens because, you didn't jack your credit up in a week. It took some years to do that, that damage. And so what people don't realize, or what they realize at that moment, is, gosh, I'm probably not going to be able to get this right now. It may take me a year. It may take me 5 years before I'm able to get the things that I desire, because I didn't manage my funds properly. Or maybe you had a setback. Some of those things are unavoidable, and I get it. But yeah, it's really sad when that happens. And I'm sure you've seen that a lot as a realtor. When it comes to your credit score, and, I've touched on this a little bit with another person I had on the show. When it comes to your credit score, can your credit score help you? Can it help you? Can it help you save money?
Yeah, definitely. Your credit score can definitely help you save money, because the higher your credit score is, the better interest rate you'll get. Okay. People don't realize that when they come in, even to buy a house, if they have a 620 or 640 credit score, yes, you could purchase a house with that, but you're gonna pay a higher interest rate with that. So the higher you up towards the 850 end of it, and you don't have to have an 850. Actually, you have to get probably in the 780, 790s. You will get the preferred rate, because it shows that it's kind of like your reputation as far as your credit. It has nothing to do with your personal value of yourself, your self-worth or anything, but it's a financial number. And it's a financial number that, people don't care whether you're black, white, blue, or green. It's a financial number in regards to, will you pay the money back? Okay. That's what the banks look at it as, a financial number. So, it can save you money on your car. It can save you money on your insurance, even, because even in the insurance industry, we get a credit score that is, well, it's an insurance score, and it will put you in a mutual company or a substandard company, which price difference. So the more you keep it together financially, you can actually save money in that regard. And most people don't, understand and really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. I was listening to this guy. I don't know if it was a podcast or a YouTube video, and he was saying that one thing that people don't understand, and you can tell me if this is true or not, is that if you get a car, right? If you get a car and you get a loan from the bank, and it's really, really low interest, you can ask the bank to put additional money on that and then use that money to pay off one of your credit cards.
That I do not. I've never heard of that. I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, when I heard that, I said, wow, I mean, wouldn't more people do that? I mean, if you get like a low interest rate and you have a high interest rate credit card and you ask the bank if you can put additional money on that loan, I mean, that would be brilliant.
Yeah, well, the one thing that they are doing with the car loans these days, they're selling you gap coverage.
Okay.
Which is an insurance coverage that if you get upside down on your car and say you total it, this gap coverage will pay your car off for you. Okay. Oh, nice. So, well, I mean, it's nice in a way that, yes, it'll pay your car off for you. It's not nice in a way that you're paying extra. It's extra insurance. Yeah. So it's not going toward paying down your car loan or anything. So the best thing to do is not. I mean, if you can't afford the car, don't get one. that you're going to be upside down on, because you're just giving money away, basically. Yeah. So it's costing you money at that point.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I had to learn over the years is that, keeping up with the homies or keeping up with the trends and all of that, it doesn't serve you well at all. And it just leaves you depleted. It really does. It just leaves you depleted. There's always going to be a nicer car. There's always going to be a new design that comes out as far as a handbag or clothes. And really, if you just get some staple pieces and you get a car that will get you from point A to point B and it's not janky looking, you're good to go. And you can take that money that you would be spending to floss, and to show off. You can take that and do some really good investing and be okay in the future. And I think that that's an important thing that maybe people on this broadcast can learn if they haven't already implemented some of those things or kind of change their perspective or, perception about like what it is that you do with money, right? Your relationship with money is really, really important. And I wish I would have gotten this at a younger age. I'm happy that I'm getting it now. But living in LA is it's a really expensive place. And I think like talking to people like you and following people like Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey, I think it's important to do that and to really implement some of those great principles that they teach, especially if you want a biblical perspective. I think Dave Ramsey is a really good person to follow because he's a Christian,
Right.
So yeah, it's really important to get these things now. As far as like getting it now, at the age that I am, I mean, I'm 47. I don't know how old everybody is who's listening to this broadcast or, the demographic I believe that I have is about 35 to 55. How much money does a person need to retire? I mean, we should really be thinking about those things.
Right. Actually, the time to think about retirement is when you first get your first job out of college.
So my son,
we're not thinking about that because people, I always say retirement is a number. It's not necessarily an age. It's a number as far as amount, because if you get the right amount, you can retire at any age. Okay.
Right.
So, but we need to start thinking about retirement really when we first start our jobs. And, when we first get out of college, we want to buy a car, we want to buy clothes. I mean, I wanted to do that, buy a car, buy the clothes and stuff like that. But I was fortunate. There was a man at the company that he told me, he said, Adrienne, I know you're young, you want to buy this, you want to buy that, but the best thing you can do is start putting money in your 401k account.
Somebody told you that at your job? Wow.
Yes. Yeah. And he says, as much money as you can put in there, do it. And, and I'm sure he's told lots of folks this,
But they didn't do it probably.
Right. And I've told lots of folks this, My story is not that I was ever bankrupt and, I don't have a rags to riches story. That's not what I have. What I have is I did make some good financial decisions. I made some financial sacrifices too. I wasn't out at the clubs. I wasn't doing this. I wasn't buying all the latest purses and shoes and all this kind of stuff because that really didn't matter to me. It mattered to me to secure my future. I guess I've always been an old soul. And so that's what I was interested in. And really, Carla, it didn't take that much money sitting it aside to start building it up.
Okay.
Once you start sitting aside, you don't miss it because you never had it anyway.
Right. That's true. That's true. You don't even see it. You don't even want to see it. But this whole concept of paying yourself is important as well. So paying yourself is outside of what's going into your 401k. Is that correct? Or is that a part of that?
Well, that is a part of paying yourself. You can pay yourself in a retirement fund. You can pay yourself in some type of savings fund or some type of investment. The thing is to put money away for you before you start doing money, putting money away for other things, or buying other things. Make sure you take care of yourself first before you start, purchasing things that most time you don't even need, and we do have this thing. We don't like to wait and we don't like to save. That's the two things we don't like to do. We want it now. And the credit card is so convenient. Even on Amazon, you don't have to have your credit card. If it's locked in your account, you just hit a button and it's purchased.
Yeah. It's so easy.
It's very easy. And so you have to discipline yourself when it comes to that, because the one thing people must realize when you're purchasing things on a credit card or a loan, it really doesn't belong to you until you've paid it off.
Right.
Come home with a brand new car and say, look what I just bought. No, look what you and the Toyota place just bought. Because they still own the car.
That's right.
Yeah, miss a payment and see where the car's going to be.
Right.
Okay. So, but yeah, I mean, and it's great to go in a car lot, pay for a car, drive off the lot with the keys, and it is yours. You don't owe anybody for it. You know? So yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah. So I think I want to invite people to go ahead and put their questions in. If you have any questions for Adrienne, while we're asking this, I'm asking her this one final question that I have for her. And I want you guys to ask any questions that you have because we're getting towards the end of the show. Please feel free to put your questions in and we'll get to those, as many as we can. But my question for you is, once you get out of debt, how do you stay out of debt? And I think this is a really good question because there are so many apps out there. There's Venmo, there's the Cash app, there's all these different ways you can pay, Apple Pay, like all these different ways that you can spend money without actually seeing the money. And I think it's getting a lot of people in trouble. Oh, just Venmo me. Oh, I'll just Venmo you. And then you look up and you done Venmo'd out $1,000 at the end of the month. That's important, right? And so right. Once you get out of debt, once you discipline yourself and you pay down your credit cards and all of that, how do you stay out of debt?
Okay, that's a very, very good question, because some folks get out of debt and this speaks to consolidation loans and stuff like that. However you're going to get out of debt, I don't recommend those consolidation loans, simply because once it's up under one little umbrella, all of a sudden you think you have extra money, you start buying things and running the carts up again. So, but getting out of debt, once you are out of debt, and I mean pretty much everything except for maybe your house being out of debt, the way to stay out of debt is you have to prepare and anticipate. First of all, you have to keep doing the things that got you out of debt. The budget, the emergency fund, the debt reduction will be gone because the debt is gone at that point. But you have to anticipate things and know the difference between an emergency and something that you need to plan for, such as the example I give all the time is a couple of months ago, I get my car oil changed every 5,000 miles. But when I was in, he said, look, your battery doesn't need to be changed right now, but it's showing that, the voltage is low. So probably before your next visit, you're probably going to need to buy a battery. Okay. That's not an emergency because he's already told me that, So what I need to start doing, instead of going out and buying a Dooneyburg purse, put the money away for a battery, because I know a battery is going to come into play, and once I've been told, like when your tires get old on your car, you have to buy tires. So that's not an emergency. Now, if your car breaks, something that you didn't know that was going to happen, that is an emergency. But the things you have to plan for, the things that's going to happen, and put money aside for that. Emergency fund, at some point in time, you start out with little until you pay down your debt. After that, for an emergency fund, you need to have about 6 to 9 months to maybe a year, depending on if you're head of a household, of monthly expenses set aside, in an account that's safe that you can get to if you need it.
6 to 9 months, huh?
Yes, 6 to 9 months. Because if you lose your job, and you don't have that income coming in, and you're head of household, what are you going to do?
Lose your house.
So you don't want to do that. I mean, you paid stuff off and you don't want to jeopardize that. You should be able to find something, that you like as far as work is concerned within 6 months, hopefully, at that salary, but it'll bridge you over until you do. So, and it just depends. If it's a husband and wife situation, you may not have to have, and both people are bringing in incomes, you may not have to have that much emergency fund. But if you're a business owner, or if you're head of a household with the responsibilities of a child, you may have to have 9 months to 12 months of money sitting in an account ready to, and if you're in an industry that you may lose your job at any time, that's another thing you need to look at, okay.
Rebecca has a question.
Okay, tell me more about that safe account. As far as is she meaning putting money?
Yeah.
Where do you put the extra money aside? Okay. The extra money that you would put aside, you want to put it in the highest paying interest that you possibly can. Okay. Most of it will be either in a savings account or a mutual fund. I recommend, because the big banks such as Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, all of those, they're not paying anything pretty much in interest rates.
No.
So, right, nothing. But there are some online accounts, bank accounts, that are safe Ally is one of them. Ally is one that I use. Go check it out. I think it's paying 1.85 right now.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's real good. There are some credit unions that's paying quite a bit, but you would put it aside in that. Now, since more than likely, if something were to happen, you're not going to need it all at one time. You could, if you can find a CD that's paying a little bit more, you could put it in something like that. What you don't want to put the money in is like stocks or something that's going to go up and down, or that you can't get to it quickly.
Okay.
So it needs to be safe and it needs to be accessible as far as the emergency fund is concerned. Now, if you have another fund, such as your investment fund, you can put that somewhere else, because you're not, if you invest, you're setting that money aside for long term. You're not going to go and get that. Okay. So there is a difference, but I would say put it in the highest, the highest interest rate you can find out there is where you would put that money.
What's the lowest amount of time on a CD? Is it 9 months?
3 months.
Oh, they have 3 months.
Yeah, they have 3 months. Now, it's not going to pay as much as a 9 month or a 12 month, but they do have 3 months. Okay. And what you could do, Carla, if you want it, you can use a CD, put a 3 month CD, get a 6 month CD, get a 9 month CD and a 12 month CD, and just let it turn over. So you would have your money in 3 months if you needed it. And if you let it turn over, you have your money in 3 more months for the 6 month CD. Yeah. And so you can base it out like that. And that way you will always have access to, some money at any point in time, because, they're mature and just go ahead and turn over.
That's good to know, because I got some money just sitting in my savings account and it's not accruing any sort of interest at all. So yeah. I think I'm going to look into that whole CD thing.
Yeah, look into the CD thing. Also look into the, like I said, the online savings accounts, because right now, honestly, they're pretty much matching what you can get in a CD, and you can actually have access to your money
right away.
Right away.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the fear is for some people is they don't know who those people are. Like they don't see them. Because I know I used to have an Ing account. And I used to go, gosh, like, where is this place? And then I drove past on the freeway and I saw that there was an actual building, but it was an online thing too. I think they changed the name, right?
I've heard of them before. The online, you can always do some research on the online. They're very safe. They're very safe. They really are. Because I wouldn't put my money in them if they weren't. Okay, what about other kinds of savings for the roof or rent fund? Oh, for summer travel?
Like I would put that money.
Yeah, for that, if you know that, there's a time frame that you're going to need that money, let's say in a year or so. The only thing with putting money in a stock market or investment account is it will go up and down. Like the stock market has dipped lately. And if you look at your 401k, it's low right now. I mean, but if you're consistently buying, you're buying stuff on sale. So that's the good part about it. So if you're going to need that money, within a short amount of time, when I say short amount of time, in less than 5 years or so, you don't really want to put it in a stock market account, because it may be down when you need the money. Okay. And so what you put in, you may not be able to get it back. If you can do something long term, when we talk about investing, I think of investing in terms of retirement or 5 to 10 years out. You're not going to need the money, but that way it'll have time to actually grow over time. And it'll be it'll be better for you. But if you're going to save something a year and under, I would probably still lean toward like a mutual fund account or a high interest savings account would be the best thing to do for that.
Okay, for the travel.
Right.
Okay, so I want to invite people to ask any more questions they have. We have about 6 more minutes. And while we're waiting on any more questions, I wanted to ask you if you have any online programs or any webinars that you're doing. I know that you do those, or any services that you provide if someone wants to get in contact with you.
Yeah, sure. On my IG, I do have my link tree. There are several classes that I have on there. I have a landlord class. I have a get out of debt and stay out of debt, and I have a budget class on there. I also have something that's a 21-day affirmation that is free. 21-day affirmation that's free, that you can go in. It has the 21 days of affirming. And it's about changing your mind to think better about money. And then there's a morning prayer and there's an afternoon prayer that you would say. Right.
Awesome.
So in 21 days, your mind will soon start changing, and things will start changing as far as your money situation, because whatever happens, whatever you want to, the mind has to change first.
Yeah.
Mind changes, the body and the habits will follow. But you need to start feeling a lot better about money, and not guilty about money or anything like that. I
Yeah.
saw a question.
Yeah. Are you done with saying where your program?
Yeah, it's on my it's Linktree slash Master Money Mogul. If you want, it's
Is it a
linked.
/
Yes, /linktr.ee/ Master Money Mogul is where you can find it, or you can go on my IG account, and it would be the last link at the bottom. It says, there you go. Yeah, it would say 21-day affirmations. That is totally free. You just put your information in, and you can go on and download it, and take it with you. Give it to your relatives. It's great information. But it gets you in the mindset. It's something that you say for, like I said, 21 days, and there's a morning and an afternoon prayer that you would say in the morning and afternoon.
I love that. I mean, I really believe in the manifestation of things. So if you do a vision board, or you say a mantra, or whatever you say every morning and at night, yes, eventually, and maybe it takes 21 days, maybe it takes a little bit longer, but if you are consistent in doing that, you will change, and you'll see a difference in your life. And it's interesting because as I started listening to you, and as I started listening to more Dave Ramsey, and doing self-affirmations and doing vision boards, sometimes when you're about to buy something, or you're about to do something that is not going to serve you well, you have to ask yourself, what does my vision board say? What did I say that I wanted? Or what would Adrienne Earls do? Or what would Dave Ramsey say about me doing this? Because you have these things and these people and these messages in your head. And I think it kind of helps with that decision making, because you've been doing the work. If you don't do the work, and you're just out there just kind of doing like frivolous spending and things like that, you're never going to see a difference.
Right.
So it's important. I love that you have that. Let's do these 2 more questions. Vanessa Davis has a question. What about moving your money from one account to another? One like USAA for the military. I don't know what that is, but maybe you do.
Okay. No, I don't know what the USAA. I know who Vanessa is. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa.
Yeah. Moving from one like USA, moving from it USAA account. I would look. I mean, anytime you're going to move your money around, I would say look at the interest rate and why you're moving the money around. Because I wouldn't move money if it's in a secure account unless I'm moving it because of a better interest rate. And I may not, because USAA is a good place to have money. I may not move all of it. You can move some of it over, to get a better interest rate. But I may not just close down that account totally, especially if you had it for a while. I may leave some of the money in there and move some over. That way you can see how it performs in both accounts, and see how your money's growing in one account opposed to another account. But look at the interest rate that you're getting in those accounts before you just start moving money around.
Okay. And then we have one last question from Ashley Wilson. And she wants to know, is bankruptcy ever an option? That's a great question.
Yeah. Ashley, bankruptcy should be your very last option when you've exhausted everything, because bankruptcy will mess you up for 7 to 10 years as far as your credit score and everything. I mean, it will really take you down. So basically, if there is no other way that you can find to get out of your situation, bankruptcy is there for that, Chapter 7 or Chapter 10. But I would only use that as the very last option. Sometimes things happen and you have to use that option. But, just make sure that there is no way that you can do anything else aside from file the bank, because it will mess you up for years to come. And that being said, we know that sometimes that is the option you have to take.
Sure. Yeah. So it's 5:40. The show is 40 minutes, and I wanted to know if there was any last remarks that you want to leave before we close out the show. I want to thank you for being here. I've really enjoyed this topic, and it looks like some other people enjoyed it too. And just wanted to know if you had any closing remarks.
Great, great. Thank you. Well, Carla, I want to say congratulations to you on your first season. It's great that you asked me to be a guest. I'm honored for that.
Absolutely.
And we have worked together. And I just want to say to everybody that's on the scope that this is something that is very doable. And people are getting out of debt. People are, changing their financial situation around. The Bible talks about leaving an inheritance to your children's children. And so this is the way to do it. When we pass on, we don't want to leave a lot of debt or no way to be buried and that type of thing. We want to make sure that our last will and testament, that we leave something to someone. And that would be a great honor to do that. And that shows love for your family when you do that. So let's keep our mind on our money and our money on our mind, and master that money and not let that money be your master.
Yeah, that's so great. Well, Adrienne, thank you so much for being here, and maybe we'll have you on next season.
Okay.
With the same topic and another focus. I think you're awesome, as you know. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you guys, that is the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate it. If you have any comments or questions that you want to leave, even after the show has aired, we will be on and we can, answer your questions or give you any more information that you might need. And make sure you follow Adrienne Earls. You can follow her on Instagram, Facebook, Master Money Mogul. She's also Master Money Mogul over there on Periscope if you are a Periscoper in Periscope land. So anyway, thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoy your week. Have a peaceful and prosperous week. And we will see you next Sunday on the Carla Palmer Show. Take care. Bye, everyone.